Well, thank you everyone and welcome to today's session, which will focus on the topic of capitalizing on the eSports phenomena. My name is Borislav Borisov and I'm a three-letter abbreviation, as you can see in UltraPlay. So that's me. Without further ado, I wish to start by actually thanking my CEO, Derry, for making me do this session by gently giving me the choice to either do it or do it. But enough about that. So cracking on, here is our plan for today. We kick off with what is esports, how big are the esports and the esports betting markets, what are the various betting models out there? There are a few in existence. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Is it a real business opportunity? Or just the next fashionable item that will pass with the years? And at number 5, how can you make money out of esports besides betting? What other revenue opportunities are available? And lastly, what are the barriers if you are a real money sportsbook operator wishing to tackle esports betting? What might be some of the barriers that you encounter? So there's the session plan. First things first, what is esports? Esports is, and I've cherry-picked here a few definitions for you. Esports is more than a single discipline. It's a form of sport competition facilitated by electronic technology, be it a tablet, a computer, a phone, or something more fancy. I'm not that young anymore to follow these. So this is number 1. Number 2, it's played between professional players that do this for a living. So it's people who are full-time invested into the world of esports, getting paid quite decent amount of money for doing so as well. And number 3, it's being played in front of large and vast audiences, rivaling mainstream competitions, and at the same time broadcasted over the internet in front of millions of viewers. I repeat, millions of viewers. This is the popularity that we're talking about here. So what is esports number 2? As I said, it's more than a single discipline. In fact, in 2015, there have been 82 different games played competitively. The criteria being here that there must be at least one tournament organized which shells out a cash, real money cash prize. So 82 different competitions, out of which, so the field is not as fragmented as it seems. The top 10 in terms of prize pool generation, the top 10 games actually generated, as you can see here, 92.3%, or about 60 million of the 65 million in combined prize pool. So this is 93% for the top 10 games, of which Dota 2, this is a massive online battle arena game that is, maybe it doesn't mean anything to you. It's a game where you have millions of players playing simultaneously online. It has generated nearly half of that. So that's about 30 million, if mine serves me right. And out of that Dota 2 game, the World Cup in Dota, which is the Dota 2 international tournament, so it's like World Cup in soccer, just takes place once a year, every year, not once every 4 years. It has generated, it actually shelled out 17.5 million in prize pool, 6.5 to the winning team. So this is the numbers that we're dealing with in terms of prize pool for the sport. What is esport number 3? There are 2 things behind the popularization of esports. Number 1, it's the broadcasting engines. So the internet, Twitch, YouTube, Steam, they allowed streaming to ridiculous amounts of audiences, even for mainstream sports. And then to just give you an example of the size that we're dealing with here. So it's not a basement tournament that we're talking about. The last Dota 2 International, you can see it sold out a 17,30 afterwards, 17,000 arena over 6 different days in under 5 minutes. Base ticket price, $99. This is the popularity. This is the hype. And at the same time, it was actually broadcasted in 400 different theaters across the globe. Plus, on the final, you had nearing 5 million online viewers. This is the mass that you're dealing with when it comes to esports. So let's see, this is out of the way. Now, how big is, my second part is how big is actually the esports market and how big is the esports betting market as well. I will tackle this topic and through 3 different angles. So we'll start with the gaming industry, then we'll take a look at the esports competitive market, and finally we'll gaze upon the data on the esports betting market as well. Now, starting with the gaming market, it is already maybe aware, it is already a crazy big market, 91 billion generated in 2015. And there is an expected amazing annual growth rate. Is it amazing annual growth rate or something else? I think it's probably not. I'm not too good with 4-letter abbreviations, so I think it's an average annual growth rate of 7.6% for the entire industry, 13.8% for the mobile side of it. And you can see the 2 lines are actually merging. The share of mobile gaming revenues out of the entire mass of online gaming revenue, gaming revenues is increasing continuously. So that's the first part of it, the game industry side. Then moving to the competitive scene, you can see this is my amazing Excel skills here. So you can see it's a graph that actually combines 2 lines into it. The first one is the number of tournaments over the last 6 years, and you can see that it just goes up and up and up, reaching nearly 5,000 in 2015. This is 5,000 competitive events. Compare this to mainstream sports. Nobody can compete with that. 5,000 tournaments, 5,000. And then, in terms of prize pool, you can see doubling every year. 13 million 2012, 20 million 2013, 30 plus million in 2014, 65 million 2015. So it's doubling up like a video poker game. It is doubling up like a video poker game. And it will continue to do so. If this was a treadmill, you would be a very strong person running on it. Cracking on. In terms of esports audience, this is a demographic snapshot. So I'll spend some time now on the demographic side of the audience. I've picked 3 countries for you, and you can see the number of gamers in each country. See, these are people that play a game, a computer game, a mobile game, at least once a month. So the number of gamers in each country, you can see 25 million South Korea, 530 million China, 190 million US. Out of these, what is the size of the actual esports audience? And you can see that the sizes are quite significant. Nearly a quarter, if not more, of everybody who actually plays a game once a month is part of the esports audience. To be part of this audience, you must watch a esport event at least once every month. So that's the criteria for putting people in that brilliant column. Right next to it, you can see the share of the online population that actually is interested in esports in each country. So you can see numbers rising from about 10% in China to 17% South Korea, 13% US. And the last column are the so-called esports enthusiasts. These are the people that either play amateur competitive tournaments or they watch esports events at least once a day. And the numbers are quite astonishing. 3.5 million South Korea, 42 million China, and 19 million in the US. So this is the mass that currently is being talked about. In terms of the actual gender profile, it is quite clear. About 2/3 are male across, you can see the countries. 1/3 is female. And there is a variation, like starting from South Korea, where a fourth is only female, to reaching the US, where nearing 40% of the esports audience is female. So this is the gender breakdown for you. In terms of actual age profiling, you can see about over half of the population is between 21 to 35 years old. And a significant share is younger, and everybody else is basically here, us in the room. Sorry if anyone is younger than 36. I don't mean offense. So that's the age profile. Now, looking at the betting market, I mentioned there are a few models out there. I've picked 3 of them which cover basically the entire space, barring some anomalies. So you've got cash betting opportunities, skins betting opportunities, and finally, we've got social fantasy league betting. Now, I will double into what each of these is a little bit later. And so without further ado, let's look at the size of it. Cash betting, based on the report from, I can't pronounce this name, sorry. So it's Eilers and Krychek Gaming, I think. Thank you for trying. 300 million in handle for cash betting in 2015 on eSports. 300 million. It is reported to be, earlier today we heard Pinnacle's 5th biggest sport. I have official data that is the 7th, but it's a year old almost, so it's 9 months. So it might be even going 5th. So it is Pinnacle's 7th. For me, biggest sport. It's bigger than rugby. It's bigger than hockey. This is fantastic stuff there. Now, baseline projections. This is for the turnover amounts that esports will attract in terms of betting. Numbers are quite astonishing. 10 billion in handle in 2018, going to 24 in 2020. These are the estimations that we get. These are the projections that are the reason why I'm speaking in front of you today. Digging deeper, this is a time where, for the first time actually, we will publicize our own data at UltraPlay about the number of bets that we get using 3 of our European operators that use our data feed. As an organization, we provide software, sportsbook platform, as well as esports data feed. So these are 3 of our clients. It is for Q1 of 2016, and it concerns a little over 310,000 bets. So that's the number. Now, digging deeper, just to give you the backdrop of this entire situation, what we offer as an organization are both pretty much an in-play betting opportunities, a little over 50 different markets spanning across 15 games. So we've got the top 10 titles that you saw, generating 93% of the revenue, plus some of the hottest games around, like Overwatch, which is the first game actually created for esports betting. Now they build games, sorry, not for esports betting, for esports competing. Now they build games for esports. Now this is special stuff for me. And then you've got the other title, Vainglory, which is the first ever mobile MOBA to surpass 100 million users. So we are the first organization to actually provide odds on that. Now, having said that, apart from the industry standard match winner or quota winner, which in esports is map winner actually, we offer some really exciting and exotic in-game betting opportunities, like First Blood, basically, which is the first guy that will have blood on their fingers from using the keyboard, and other exciting stuff that you can see there is some terrorism involved, bomb planted, etc. So there's some fancy stuff going on. But these are games that are abundant of betting opportunities. It's really about using the statistical data to create sharp odds so that you can actually make a profit out of it. Digging deeper some more, there is a specific difference between the trends in sports betting and esports betting. Esports betting, you can see that 90% of it is done via desktop. Why? These are people that play. So you play a computer game. This is your normal means of communication. That's why it's predominantly desktop. rather than mobile. But these are, again, these are numbers based on our own European operators. So that's, I don't mean to extract universal truths or conclusions here. Combo versus single, you've got 40% of these people bet on combinations. So at least 2 events are combined in the bet. In sports betting, we should love these people. I've heard. I mean, this is my understanding on the matter. And so this is number 2. Then pre-match versus in-play, you can see that a little over a third of the bets are in play. This is an engaged generation. They do not come bet and leave your site to go and watch their kids. They don't have kids yet. This is a population that if you engage in the correct way, they will stay on your site. They will be there for you. And then when you look in terms of, what is this? The games, and again, this is Europe, 44% CSGO, so that's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. 44% of the bets are on this game. The next one being Dota 2, a little over 30%, and then League of Legends. You can see the top 3 titles, again, amass almost a little over, actually, 90% of the whole handle and turnover and interest. This has to do with us investing a lot in in-play betting opportunities on the titles. It's not to diminish the popularity or the opportunity of the other games. It's just Q1 2016 for our clients. That's what I'm showing you here. Gender profile. Now there is a pin in this chart. You can see 98% male, 2% female. Maybe that's not surprising. I want to see this number growing and becoming more balanced, but this is what we've got at the moment. And finally, the age profile. So the age profile of the bettors actually is quite in line with the age profile of the esports audience. Predominantly, we're looking at, what is it? 18-24. 50, how many? 58% 18-24. These are people that actually have now started climbing the organizational hierarchy. They will start having families. They'll start having serious jobs. They'll start making more money. More money means more money for betting. A full-time job means less time for playing. Less time for playing means they're watching and betting, if you follow my very interesting logic here. But this is your new generation. Denying esports is denying this generation. And again, 40%, you can see it's 25-34, and basically everyone else is really not existent here. In terms of geo profile, again, European clients, so 88%, not surprisingly, are Europeans. That's basically the target audience. For now, I've been invited, I think, to speak next year again, so I'll try to have some Asian data for you. And yeah, this is a particularly scary monster right there. Now, enough with cash betting. Now let's move on to skins betting. Now, what skins betting is, I've been led to believe is betting parts of your body. Well, I have an amputated sense of humor, so some of these jokes, please excuse them. It's just being Bulgarian. Actually, it's betting parts of your hero, not of your real body. And you can see in terms of turnover, quite significantly, about 20 times bigger than cash betting right now. About 20 times bigger. 5 billion in turnover. The major sites, FunnelBet, CSGO Lounge. The process, customer takes knife touches skin, and then some body things happen, and I'm not going to list them. Again, amputation kicking in. But pretty much, you pick a winner as a customer, you choose a skin, so it's a virtual in-game item, be it a gun, a sword, or, I don't know, a hairband. I have a lot of these in my drawer. So you pick an item, you choose what to bet on, then a bot. A bot is like a magical creature that lives inside computers, I think. So a bot evaluates the price of your item and then matches it against another player who is also willing to bet a similar item. You win, you get your opponent's item, and you go and use it in your game. If you lose, he gets your item, and you are quite unhappy. So that's the skin betting workflow right now. Now, the next one is Fantasy League. I'm sure everybody is aware of what Fantasy League is. It's, in a nutshell, the customer picks a team of eSports professional players. And this team, based on specific in-game statistics, competes against the picks of other customers. There are different ranges in terms of the amount of money you wish to risk for this, or if you want to play for free as well. And ultimately, the winner wins a real money prize or whatever item is awarded. So that's Fantasy League. Turnover. About 15 times smaller than cash betting, which means it's about 180 times smaller than skins betting. 20 million 2015, estimated to reach 2 billion in 2020. So you can see estimated growth everywhere in the market. Biggest sites, Alpha Draft, Vulcan, and Unicorn to an extent, although their model is a bit different. So that's that. Now, a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of each betting model as I perceive them. Real money betting, so you first of all, you bet real money, you win real money. This is not the case with all betting models. I know it's really out there, but yeah, you win real money if you bet real money. Then real money sites, they provide a way larger variety in terms of markets than skins betting sites and social betting sites. And lastly, the biggest strength of real money that actually facilitates regulation, there is a rigorous KYC process in play. And of course, the weaknesses is that you're required as let's say, a gamer who is not used to our betting environment. He's not part of our world. You're required to send out your ID, your credit card information, etc. This is not really, well, it's not easy to swallow the first time around. And ultimately, there is a low turnover, so this leads to certain trading issues. If you don't have enough volume, you can't really balance risk appropriately. When it comes to skins betting, the biggest advantage here is that it comes naturally to gamers. Why? Skins items are awarded freely as they play. They purchase them anyway because they like the game. So they don't need to use someone else's, let's say, another financial source. They already have the skins available, which doesn't require any additional investment, no account verification, a massive turnover. On the downside, skins fluctuate in value. As a game loses its popularity, a skin that was worth once 500 can now be worth 5. This is Bitcoin scary sometimes. And then skins cannot directly be converted into real money. There is a workaround to do it. I'm not an expert in doing it, but you can. It's just there are a lot of loopholes to pass through. And ultimately, there is a concern. There is a real concern here about underage play because there is no KYC done. Rahul Sood, maybe a lot of you know him. He's the CEO of Unicorn. He's been the front runner on battling underage play in terms of skins betting, and after noticing that his son plays, like father, like son. But there is this opportunity there. Then Fantasy League, when it comes to it, there is a free option, so you bet nothing, you win something. Social in nature, because you compete against the teams of other players. And, well, on the negative side, it may not add real money profit. It is not as popular in each jurisdiction as you have seen with other Fantasy League sports. Where is it most popular? Are we aware? Fantasy League? No? US, yeah, North America. Less so popular in Europe and other parts of the world. So there is a geographic component here. And ultimately, it does not offer instant gratification. They can make them daily, but it's still a day. A day for a person who is in gaming and wants instant clicking and playing, it might be a bit too lengthy. So that's the weakness. Now, each of these strengths and weaknesses are opportunities for each of these betting models. And it's still to come. We're still to see which one prevails, or do we get a combined mixture of these all. Actually, my third or fourth point here is it's the big one. Is it all hype? Is it just fashionable? Or is it a real business opportunity? I'll start by talking a little bit about what makes esports popular. It's accessibility. One word, accessibility. The games are free to play, which means you don't pay to download the game. So it's free to play. Accessibility in terms of finding an opponent. Hundreds of thousands of players available online, all ranked in terms of the number of games they play, all ranked in terms of the strength that they've got in their statistics. So you have always a worthy, equally capable opponent that will guarantee a great game. Then accessibility in terms of following. You don't need to pay for cable, which is always great. So you can stream it for free. There are a lot of platforms for that: Twitch, YouTube, Steam, etc. There is accessibility in terms of what you see. These games are streamed in spectator mode. Spectator mode means that you see through the eyes of your favorite professional gamer. Now imagine seeing through the eyes of Cristiano Ronaldo as he scores a free kick. That's some fantastic stuff there. I mean, it's an opportunity to ever and continuously improve your game as you watch your favorite player. Now, accessibility in terms of handicap, there are computer input devices for handicapped people. Accessibility in terms of the devices on which you can play. And, of course, accessibility to be a hero at any point in time, no matter how strong or weak you are. The last one, and this is where I think generally games score big. It's accessibility for the community to the publishers. There are a lot of brainstorming groups, initiatives with fans to actually develop and evolve the game together. Esports fans, they are community creatures. They like to be involved. And I think this is an idea for sports betting sites when they want to go esports. Involve your audience, rather than just impose a product on them on a separate tab in your site. Is it hype or a real opportunity? Number two. I believe that we are now at a moment of cultural shift. We are moving away from reality into you can see computer games are already combining virtual reality and the reality of our everyday lives. I think this shift will fundamentally change the way we see sports. Every media behind us, radio popularized baseball in America, television popularized American football, internet will create and is creating its own sports royalty. Denying esports as a potential is denying internet. Internet changed the way we communicate. Internet changed the way we gather information. Internet will and is changing the way we sport. If you remember anything out of this session, it's this last bit. And the second bit is that, to be honest, this is a very good educational example of what a slide should not look like. It has at least twice the number of words a normal presentable slide should have. So there is an educational bit, there you go, for free. Is it all hype or a real opportunity? Now, tournament numbers. In 2015, actually I said 5,000, this is 2016, mistake is mine. 16,000 tournaments estimated, 2016. 16,000, this is over 3 times the number in 2015. And 2020, we're looking at an estimation of 260 million in prize pool. This is 4 times the numbers that we've got now. 260 million in terms of numbers. Now, why does esports have potential? Because the publishers are interested. The game publishers are into it. An example here, Riot Gaming, the creators of which game? Brilliant. The creators of League of Legends, their sales revenues, because it's free to play, so they don't sell the game, it's free. Their sales revenues for in-game purchases jumped from 85 million in 2011 to 1.2 billion last year. 1.2 billion just by popularizing the eSports competitive format. Publishers are interested. Therefore, we, as providing better opportunities, should be interested when there is gameplay as well. Build it and they will come. Absolutely fascinated. I mean, I wouldn't lie. I've been involved in the world of esports for only a year and a half. But I was fascinated to see that there are actual venues, stadiums, being built for esports. It's just crazy stuff there for me. And esports continues to attract more and more advertisers. So we don't have only the Intels and the AMDs, or I don't know, AMD. We have Red Bull, we have Coca-Cola. And I was listening to an interview of a Coca-Cola marketing executive who was saying, our new audience, they use ad blockers, our ads never reach them. That's why we want, they consume media on demand. That's why we want to be part of this, because this Twitch, YouTube, Steam, these streaming videos, they are the media that has been consumed on demand. Having your brand there makes a difference. Otherwise, you're just pop-blocked, pop-ad blocked. Oh, this is bad. And to even further recognize this sport is going mainstream, ESPN starts televising it this year. They already signed the contracts, so it's getting televised. The more media pays attention, you can easily tell the more popular the sport will become. All right. I have no idea what the next slide is about. Apparently, it's about the esports audience. I've drawn here a comparison based on a report from Newzoo 2015. So you can see the audience masses. American football, 150 million. Ice hockey, 95. Esports, 89. 2017, the fan base will actually reach the American football fan base. This is the masses that we're looking at. So it's already getting dangerously mainstream. It's not even, for me, it's actually becoming mainstream. Now, there is this friend of mine that I've got, and why is it a real opportunity for you? His name is John Esports Potential Better, or Esports Better. He's a friendly chap, jolly good fellow. And you can see that he's male, 21 to 35, which perfectly fits with the future generation for the sports betting audience. This is over half of the esports fans here are fitting that profile. 33% of esports enthusiasts, these were guys that, if you remember, they play once a day or they watch once a day. 33% of them already bet. My experience at UltraPlay, looking at our customers, is that esports punters convert very easily to sports betting and live dealer. Why live dealer? Young male, fancy models. So it's a marriage made in heaven there. And they do like casino as well. So I keep hearing from some industry experts that esports punters are a completely different animal. Yes, but they bet on similar things as other people. So they're still part of our humankind. And ultimately, this is my point, is why there is potential. The more they climb the hierarchy, the more money they'll have to spend. So it's a lucrative market that will get more lucrative for me. Now, a few words on how people make money out of esports besides betting, as it happens. I've used this esports value chain participants created by, it's a scheme used by Superdata in their report in the end of last year. And you can see that there are 5 players that add value, and therefore involvement in a business opportunity with them will create value for your business. The first one are the publishers, basically whoever creates the games. Then number 2, you've got the teams. The teams are, well, sponsoring a team is fair enough. Organizing even forming your own team. There you go, an opportunity for you to market your organization. And a lot of people are actually doing it already. I mean, you've got Dafabet sponsoring Fnatic, one of the biggest teams, and you've got teams even, eBattle, that is one of our clients. They used to have a team as well. They are now considering a new one. Leagues are the organizers of the tournament. So again, involvement with them gives you marketing opportunities. Organizing even your own tournament gives you even greater marketing opportunities. We were talking yesterday with the CFO of one of the very major hotel chains globally, and he will organize events in his casinos. Why? His son likes League of Legends. The same thing in Bulgaria. I was speaking to the biggest Bulgarian land-based sports book, and there was the CEO was telling me, my son took me to an event in Romania. I saw thousands of people. I'm now interested. It's the sons and daughters that will convert, I think, this industry. Platforms, it's a bit of a different thing here. Esports, there is no formal organization that collates and churns out statistical data for esports events. No statistical data, the bookmakers are in trouble because you cannot perfect your mathematical models. So there you go, a business opportunity. Control the data, create the data, sell the data. And of course, brands get values out of it in terms of advertising opportunities. You can see quite a list here. Volkswagen is there, which really surprised me. But again, this is what is becoming mainstream. So maybe it shouldn't be surprising me after 40 slides now. Now, if you are a real money cash operator and you wish to enter the esports marketplace, I've drawn some of the key barriers that you may encounter based on our own experience. Number one is there is an established culture for people to bet with skins. So this is number one. Real money betting does not come naturally yet, which is a problem because skins will hit a regulation barrier very soon, and they will need to handle it. But even when I'm interviewing new members of my trading team, they're gamers. I like gamers, and to turn them into traders. When I interview them and they say, we bet, but they bet skins. So this is the biggest barrier that you have as a cash betting site, or maybe a biggest opportunity. Number two, the John esports better. It's a double-edged sword. On one side, the customer is very, very knowledgeable and aware about the game. Chances he knows way more than you. Chances he can sense a player is not really into the game before you even have finished round one. On the other side, he's not sports betting proficient, which means pure experience with things like handicaps, etc., plus minus 1.5 or a quarter, might drive early adopters away. Two things: educate yourself, educate your customer. Number three, you need a new type of trader. You cannot convert it is my firm belief, you cannot convert an existing sports trader into an esports trader. These games, Dota 2 takes 6 months learning curve to reach an average to professional level. You simply cannot. Instead, we should be going the other way around, including actually recruiting esports enthusiasts, turn them into traders. Turn the field. Number four, I think betting sites are unprepared to understand the esports betting community. I see this and I hear this everywhere. The big one is esports, they like more content, they like a simpler site. So for them, it's more it's more than just a tab on your sportsbook page. It should be. Pinnacle just yesterday announced they're creating a separate website for esports. And I believe this is the way to go. Just do not put a separate tab. Game integrity. Match fixing in esports is quite as popular. Sorry, not quite as popular. It does happen. There have been issues with teams across the pond in North America, as well as here in South Korea, Southeast Asia. So this is a problem. This is a problem that will become ever more apparent as the money increases. Publisher pushback, number 6. Some of the publishers do not want to touch sports betting. And it's an opportunity for us here to educate them about how betting actually increases customer engagement. It is a fact. So it's again an educational opportunity for us. Number 7, data. This is the big issue. No reliable statistical data. You cannot perfect your mathematical model. You are opening yourself up towards punishment from these knowledgeable customers. And number 8, regulation. This is a problem globally for betting, but I think for esports, it will become more of an issue. Skins betting, the rumors of underage play, this will be a problem. So the uncertainty in the regulation aspect of things, it's something to be considered as a major barrier. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.